How's it going, folks? Pokemon Home is on its way, and we're all eager and excited for it. Competitive singles feels a bit stale right now, doesn't it? There's not a lot of options in Gen 9 OU. We need a bit more variety. We need a bit more to play with, in my opinion. And Pokemon Home is going to provide that. We're going to get returning Pokemon, Hisuian Pokemon, various new Pokemon. And I'm going to rank today what I believe are going to be the top 10 returning Pokemon in the metagame. I mean, a lot of them have lost some of their best options, and now they can all terrestrialize. That's going to be a whole unique dynamic to playing with these Pokemon that we've never experienced before. So that's really going to be something, folks. Early 2023, it's on its way. That's all I'll say. If over here in Australia, I think that we would probably consider the 26th of April, which is today, to be early 2023. Perhaps even like bordering on mid to late 2023. I mean, it's almost May. Bordering on like post early 2023. But Game Freak sees things differently, I guess. Early is a relative term. Maybe they consider early to be like July. Maybe November, like it's earlier than December. It's all relative in whatever. Okay, it's a bit. I mean, they've got the data in the game already. It's just a couple of Pokemon, but it takes some time. These things take time. They're $1 billion corporation. It's the largest franchise on Earth, but they're taking their time. They need to iron out a few kinks, such as like, something. Anyway. I'm not upset about it. Let's just play some more Gen 9 OU. Anyway. I've got Mew on the screen here, who actually I'm just going to say is like an honorable mention. I don't think it's going to be quite OU. And that might be surprising because it's Mew. It has all these incredible options in a generation where we're kind of starved for options at the moment. We've got like the widest offensive move pool of all time here. But unfortunately, I think Mew has lost some of his most important options, such as Soft Boiled. It actually has no form of immediate healing anymore. It doesn't have Recover. It doesn't have Soft Boiled. It doesn't have Roost. It doesn't even have Moonlight. It's got nothing. Wish? Didn't think so. So that's a huge nerf for Mew. It also doesn't have Defog anymore, which was one of its best utility options. It still has U-Turn, Will-O-Wisp, but I think without healing, without Defog, it won't be able to act as a utility Pokemon, and, then basically you have to use it as an offensive Pokemon, which sounds okay. I mean, it's got some good options, like Swords Dance, Nasty Plot, Calm Mind, plus a lot of offensive coverage, but it's pretty slow now. Base 100 is not quite what it once was. There's so many Ghost types, so many Dark types. If you have to spend Terra on Mew to make it good, maybe that's not the best. And also lost Sucker Punch, which I just found out. That kind of sucks. That might have been pretty good. Like you could Sucker Punch Dragapult or something. Swords Dance Mew might have been actually good, and then you could Sucker Punch. You have Terra fighting to block Dark moves. That could have been really strong, but I think they, for some reason, have removed Sucker Punch from its set. They probably got that from like an event or something, and then they're just ironing things out. I don't know. But yeah, I think unfortunately Mew is going to be a bit too weak for OU. I'm sure it'll be good in UU though, with all these great options available. At number 10 on the list, I've got Zapdos. I think that Zapdos unfortunately has lost Defog, but it's a little bit dubious whether it'll end up in OU. But I think it's got a lot going for it. It has Static. I mean, we're kind of starved for electric types. The only one we have at the moment is Rotom Wash. Zapdos kind of similar to Rotom Wash in the fact that it can handle Great Tusk. It's got Hurricane, which threatens Great Tusk as well. It's pretty good. Big stab attack that you can just fish for. It doesn't matter too much if it misses because you're bulky enough to just fish for it, I think. You have Roost. You have U-Turn. I think this will be a good, like, sort of an offensive pivot with... You can fish for static chances. You can para stuff. Even a Gholdengo can't come in on discharge. It's going to get... It's got 30% para chance. One issue with this is that the stuff that it likes to come in on, like Meowscarada, Great Tusk, all have knockoff, and then once it gets knocked off, it's weak to rocks. That might be a problem. Like, it's a pretty easy thing to play around, but then knocking it off also provides a static chance. You might just para them. I don't know. I think it can manage. Probably. It might also be good on like rain teams with just Thunder Hurricane. Maybe this will be good on rain squads. Rain's coming back. With Basculegion, rain is going to be nuts. I don't know how long that'll last, but that'll be something, folks. And plus, like, I think a defensive Zapdos can check some of the... Like, Urshafu Rapid Strikes is coming back. You can at least resist fighting or threaten it with Discharge. Maybe they run... Do they run Protective Pads? I think they did that back in Gen 8 or something. I don't know. We'll see how things shake out. But I feel like Zapdos sounds good in the current meta, starved of a Pokemon like this with these kind of options. It's unfortunate it doesn't have Defog anymore. That would have been obviously been great. But yeah. Up next I have Rillaboom, who is pretty nerfed. Significantly nerfed, actually. It doesn't have Grassy Glide anymore, which was its, I think, 70 power priority grass attack, which is really strong. It was like its strongest option. It only worked in grassy terrain, but it obviously creates grassy terrain. So without that, it's going to struggle a little bit, but it still has like a lot going for it, I think. It creates grass terrain, which is going to be nice for... I mean, on day one teams, we're going to have Sneasler in the game. Sneasler has Unburdened, so you could go Grassy Seed on Sneasler with this guy. It still has U-Turn, Knockoff. Grass typing is kind of nice. There's a lot more water types now. Great Tusk, like you just smack it. Don't know if you can... What if you just Scarf Rillaboom? Could that be something? I mean, Scarf U-Turn, you can't go wrong with that, right? What else does it get in terms of... I think it's Stomping Tantrum, ground coverage, yeah. I feel like this is good coverage, and... Grassy Surge is nice. Shields you from Earthquakes, shields you from... Activates Seeds. Helps your team a little bit. You could even run like a Meowscarada or something. Boost its Flower Tricks. I think it sounds good. It's definitely significantly nerfed, but... I think it will... I don't know if it'll be OU. It might not be so good that it's going to be used all the time, but I think it'll be definitely usable. I'm looking forward to using it. I guess you could argue Zapdos is probably easier to fit on teams, maybe a bit better, but I feel like Rillaboom will define a certain team styles a bit more with its ability to activate the seeds. We could even see a resurgence in Hawlucha. Hawlucha. Like right now, the only terrain setter is Indeedee. So I think we're underrating the utility of a terrain setter. I think a terrain setter is going to be really nice. And Rillaboom, I think, is a lot better than Indeedee. Indeedee provides priority immunity and other stuff, but yeah. Up next, I have Regieleki, who might be a bit low for some people. Because a lot of people are saying that, you know, the fact that this can now Terrastalize and get like ice coverage with Terra Blast or, I don't know, Terra Fairy or something. Maybe to be a defensive type that doesn't suck. Is going to be an enormous buff to this. And it is. It's insanely fast. It can now, you probably just go Modest, max special attack, and now you can... I mean, with spikes down, there's not much that can... Well, yeah, there's nothing that can outrun this. I was going to say there's not much that can outrun it. I think there's literally nothing that can. But it doesn't hit that hard, and Terrastalizing on it is a commitment. You're probably forced into Terra Ice, which is a really weak type. I don't think this is going to be like such an insane thing that's going to be dominating everything. The way some people have described it, but it's definitely quite a significant buff to Regieleki. It's going to be OU, I'm sure. But I don't think it'll be like ban-worthy or anything like that. I think it'll be good. Let's get U-turn. No, Volt Switch, yeah. Gets Spin. Spin's always nice. It gets Weather. Sometimes people use that, right? It doesn't sound that great to me, personally. But I could be surprised by this. I feel like being forced to Terra might be a bit of a limitation. But I could be underestimating this majorly. This might be one of the best new Pokemon. Up next we have Hoopa Unbound, who I think is going to be an insane wall breaker. Might even end up in Ubers or something. I mean, the biggest... this being able to Terrastallize is a big deal, because its defensive typing is pretty bad. It's times for weak to bug. It's weak to a lot of stuff. Wait, is it weak to a lot of stuff, or is it just times for bug weak? Bug and Fairy, I mean... Okay, it's not weak to a lot of stuff. I rescind what I've just said, but it's weak to bug, which is a bad one, because U-turns everywhere. But... like, this thing, look at its offensive stats. Look at its move pool. What's that? Hyperspace Fury? Can't even protect it. It's a Dark attack. This kid's going to be a crazy wall breaker. This is going to be able to Terra Dark. It's got Knock even. I think this is just going to click buttons and kill everything. That's my hunch. Hyperspace Hole for the fans. Yeah, this is going to be a great Pokemon. This is going to be, for pretty obvious reasons, has large stats. It's going to sort of select buttons and defeat the enemy. That's what I believe. Controversial, I know, but I guess we'll see what happens once the metagame arrives. Will Hoopa Unbound be able to kill enemies? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Up next I have Urshafu Rapid Strike, who is one of the few things that's gaining options. It's gaining Swords Dance. It's got, obviously, Close Combat, Surging Strikes. I think for obvious reasons, this is going to be an excellent offensive Pokemon. It has Ice Spinner for coverage. I think it previously had Ice Punch, but Ice Spinner slightly better. A little bit better. It has Aqua Jet. Does it have Mark Punch? No, but it has Aqua Jet, which is always nice. Terra will be a big benefit to this as well. Does it get Zen Headbutt? It gets Poison Jab to hit fairies. It has a lot of really good coverage. It has good offensive stats. It has pretty good bulk as well. And with Swords Dance, this is going to be able to break through teams very effectively. Trailblaze might be usable. Probably not. Well, maybe. Maybe Swords Dance Trailblaze is a set. I never thought of that, but honestly, even bulk up. You could just go bulk up Urshafu with like Terra Water, do Swords Dance Drain, Terra Fairy or something. Do we get Play Rough? No. This has the bulk to just go Terra Fairy and do bulk up, but then just be a bit of an annoyance. This is going to be an excellent win condition, offensive threat, everything. Obviously. It gets U-turn. You can do Choice Band with U-turn. Of course, of course. Speaks for itself, really, this one. I've got Volcanion next, who I think is going to be really nice. There's no Scald in the game anymore, except for this guy. This is the only guy that gets Scald, but of course Scald is outclassed by its other option, Steam Eruption. The meta does not have a move like this in it right now, and I think that it's going to really... we're going to really... I don't know if appreciate is the right word, but it's going to be good. A big water move with 30% burn is going to be... That's one of the freest clicks of all time. Scald, famously, the freest thing in the world. You just fish for burns, but this has huge stab damage, high power on top of that. It's obviously going to be great. This even has Water Absorb, which can counteract other waters. Perhaps a Surging Strike Urshafu locked in, or a Bascule Legion, or other such fellas. We of course have... Doesn't this guy have a big fire move as well, or is it just Fire Blast? I mean, we have Overheat. Can't go wrong with a bit of a Will-O-Wisp. Earth Power. Yeah, this is going to be a great special attacker, Wall Breaker plus free clicker. Even if there's switch-ins to it, it's got ways to handle it. We could see Water Absorb Clod probably wall this pretty well, but even then you can Earth Power. Terra Ground Earth Power for the KO, potentially even an mixed Earthquake honestly would destroy Clodsire actually. That's probably an even better option because Clod has low defense. This even has the tools to take on the most common, probably what will end up being the most common counter to it. We have such options on this guy. Taunt even. Plus it can Terra defensively if it's going to take a ground hit or something. Does have to contend with Great Tusk, but like, not really. Great Tusk can't come in on this. You just pivot to this and then what happens? They can't... There's nothing they can do. I feel like this is going to be insane. Up next I have Landorus-Therian at number 4 on the list. Unsurprisingly, this is going to be a great Pokemon. I made a video about Landorus-Therian's lost options, which include Defog, no more Knockoff, no more Toxic. Which all of those are pretty significant losses. It does have this new move, which I don't think is very good. It's 100 power, 80 accuracy, 20% burn. Might be good to fish for burns, but the 80 accuracy really sucks. It's good. Did Landorus always have Calm Mind, or am I nuts here? But yeah, folks, it still has obviously Rocks, U-Turn, Earthquake, and that's really all you need. I think a Scarf Landorus will be able to function just the same way it always did. It can't Hidden Power Ice or Toxic anymore, but it has like super... It doesn't even have Superpower. Wait, it doesn't have Superpower. It has Hammer Arm. That's probably usable as fighting coverage. Do you even need fighting coverage in Gen 9? Not really. It's got Rock Slide is probably a good filler. I think the fact that I think about like Rotom Wash or something that's viable in Gen 9 right now. Just a really good pivot is something that we're really going to appreciate. Plus it has hazards. It's going to be a great, just like it always is, a catch-all sort of physical check plus poses a bit of a threat, kind of speed check stuff with Scarf. You could still do lefty sets. You could even do the Swords Dance Rock. Don't tell me we lost Rock Polish too. I didn't even know that. We're learning as we go, folks. What the hell's up with that? It's got Bulk Up though. Did it always have Bulk Up? One sec. I don't think Lando had Bulk Up. Oh, it did. I've never seen that before. I've never seen Bulk Up Lando before. Where the hell am I? What a great... This is good quality video content, folks. This is really good. I'm sort of losing where I am, like an old something. But did you... I'm losing it, folks. I had no idea. Surely this would have been used. Maybe it's not even good because everything just has ice coverage and kills it anyway. It wouldn't be very good, would it? Probably not. Okay, Lando's lost a lot of options. That's why it's not rank 1. If it still had all its options, it'd obviously be rank 1. But it's still Lando. It's got Intim. It's got the greatest, really good defensive typing, plus U-Turn, plus Rocks. That's going to be enough to make it a really good Pokemon. I feel like everything I'm saying here is so uncontroversial, but yeah, except maybe the Regieleki thing. In number 3, I have put Heatran, who I think is going to actually end up being better than Landorus. Heatran actually hasn't lost that many of its options. It's Toxic like everything else did, but it still has Will-O-Wisp, Lava Plume, Magma Storm. Like, it has everything. Stealth Rock, Earth, all its coverage, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon. It's got, like, all of its best options. It's Flash Fire. It's going to be great in this metagame. Terrastalize is going to be a huge buff to this because, I mean, I figured Terra Bug would be good. I talked about this in my Heatran video because you're immune to fire already, and now you have ground and fighting resist, and rock and flying are not really super common. You just run like boots on this to be rock immune, and then this is going to be an absolute bastard with like Will-O-Wisp, Lava Plume. I think the Magma Storm sets are going to be even better because you can eliminate something like Ting Lu. Because you can taunt their Whirlwind. They can't Earthquake you if you Terra. Terra is going to let you escape danger in situations that you previously couldn't. You can even eliminate a... I think we're going to see Magma Storm be nuts. Like, Magma Storm is going to be able to trap way more things because of Terra. You're going to be able to trap Great Tusk. Not that they would ever switch into you, really, but if you're ever in against them, if you're just, like, say, even in a lead or something, you lead Heatran, they lead Great Tusk, you just Terra Bug Magma Storm right off the rip, they're gone. They've been trapped. They can't defeat you. Heatran is going to be not only as good as it's always been, it's going to be even better. It's going to be even better. I think we're going to be surprised by Heatran. Plus it has Stealth Rock. I didn't even talk about Stealth Rock. It has Stealth Rock. Good move. Up next we have Urshafu Dark type form, which I think is, you kind of just copy paste everything I said about previous Urshafu form, but with a better move. Wicked Blow. We don't have... The other one has Aqua Jet, which is actually quite beneficial, but like Fighting Dark is just such good coverage. I'm not even sure what can switch in against this because it also hits fairies. And it has Swords Dance now, and it can Terra. And you can't protect against it. I'm pretty sure this is just going to be probably banned. Like, it was banned in Gen 8, so I don't think it would be surprising if this got banned yet again. If it wasn't already good in Gen 8, it can now Swords Dance, and it has, like, perfect coverage. And it can Terra on top of that to either boost its stab even further. Good luck living this, and good luck killing it too, because it can defensively Terra. I think this is just going to be far too good. It will probably be banned. But we'll see. Maybe the power creep has reached a point where this is now OU appropriate. The meta is going to be chaos, isn't it? It's going to be full of absolute powerhouses. I think that we're receiving... Like, right now, I think there's a bit of an issue with, like, offensive Pokemon kind of being better than defensive Pokemon. I feel like there's less options for defensive Pokemon in the meta right now, which is why more things are being banned, because there's, like, less available to answer them. I feel that way about all this stuff returning. Like, we're getting some new defensive Pokemon. I think we're getting even more offensive Pokemon that are even stronger than anything we have now. Like, this is ridiculous. This is going to be crazy. And I'm not looking forward to it, but I'll probably abuse it myself. But of course, I'll be using Sneasler on day one, and that's going to be an absolute circus, isn't it? But we're going to have fun playing broken things, aren't we? If you thought Smogon banned everything now, just you wait, folks. They're going to continue to ban everything. You don't even understand what's about to be banned, the amount of bans that are going to occur. And number one on the list, I have Magana, who will also probably end up Ubers. It has, like, the best type combo in the game. Its stats are absurd. Maybe not absurd, but extremely good. It has Shift Gear plus a really good offensive move pool, Floor Cannon, which is just going to be really difficult to switch into. Soul Heart, which is an amazing ability. Raises its special attack by 1 when another Pokemon faints. I mean, with Shift Gear and good coverage, you could even do Shift Gear plus Calm Mind and then just a couple of Draining Kiss. And it can now Terrastalize, which this is exactly the kind of Pokemon that is just going to go ballistic with Terrastalize. It was already great with Z-Move, because Z-Move with Shift Gear lets you nuke through something. Not only do you gain stab on something, you can live hits, secure this as a win condition, similar to what like Volcarona is doing with Terra. Like Volcarona has just been hugely buffed by Terra. Same deal with Magana, who... This is... You know, Magana obviously has merit even outside of this set with its like Assault Vest sets, its pivots, its ability to check various things. This also has like Heal... Does it still have Heal Bell? It doesn't anymore, okay. It's got... what's that? Soul Heart? No. Heart Swap. Wait. Isn't that its like signature move? Okay, I don't even know what's real anymore, folks. But yeah, I would pick this as the #1 returning Pokemon. I think that this will end up banned, certainly. Oh, it even gets spikes now. Just give it everything. Now it can make hazards too. Isn't that just great? Now it can even make hazards. Well, let's give it more options. Let's take away options from Mew. Mew can't heal anymore, but now Magana can make spikes, because sure. The rich get richer, folks. Alright, that's my list. Hope you enjoyed it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Am I stupid? Am I smart? Am I cool? You know? A lot of these questions nobody knows the answer to, but thank you to the patrons. Thank you to you guys. And I'll catch you guys later. I'll do some editing tomorrow. Off the cuff video today because I'm working on I didn't want to rush myself today with the writing and editing, but more content coming. I upload daily, except for Sundays. Goodbye. Thank you.